Ambassador Zixthor had lived for 3 centuries, served in 42 diplomatic missions, and negotiated peace treaties across 17 star systems. Yet nothing in his extensive career had prepared him for the sight of a human in combat. The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the holographic footage began to play. It showed the recent skirmish on Kepler 442b, where a human military unit had encountered the Krethax swarm, a species that had terrorized the Outer Rim for decades. The council members leaned forward, their various appendages tensing with anticipation. "Esteemed delegates," Zixthor began, his translator implant converting his chittering into standard galactic. "What you are about to witness has been verified by 7 independent sources. It is unprecedented." The footage showed 12 humans facing down approximately 300 Krethax warriors. By every tactical calculation, by every military doctrine known to the galaxy, the humans should have retreated. The Krethax were apex predators, 4 meters tall armored exoskeletons, venomous claws that could puncture starship hulls. They had never known defeat in ground combat. The lead human, identified as Sergeant Maria Chen, did something that made every alien in the chamber recoil. She smiled. "Contact in 30 seconds, her voice crackled through the recording. "Remember your training. Remember Earth." Counselor Veshna of the Aquarian Collective raised a tentacle. "Forgive me, Ambassador, but what could they possibly remember about their homeworld that would help them in this situation?" Zixthor's scales rippled with discomfort. "That is precisely what troubles us, Counselor. You see, we have been studying humanity since their admission to the Council 5 years ago. We have learned things that concern us greatly." He pulled up a data file on his holographic display. "Earth is a Category 9 death world. For context, most spacefaring species evolve on Category 2 or 3 worlds. The Krethax themselves come from a Category 5 world, which we considered exceptionally harsh." The chamber filled with confused murmurs. How could any species survive on a Category 9 world, let alone develop space travel? "Earth's gravity is crushing by galactic standards," Zixthor continued. "Its atmosphere contains a highly reactive element called oxygen, which is actually corrosive and toxic to most life, yet humans breathe it constantly. Their planet experiences catastrophic weather events regularly, massive atmospheric vortexes with winds exceeding 300 kilometers per hour, geological instability, solar radiation that would sterilize most worlds, and temperature variations that range from 100 degrees above freezing to 50 below." The footage continued playing. The Krethax charged, their war cries echoing across the battlefield. The humans didn't retreat. They advanced. "Notice their movement," Zixthor pointed. "Humans are persistence predators. On Earth, they evolved by literally chasing their prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. They have a cooling system that allows them to regulate body temperature even during extreme exertion, something almost unique in the galaxy. While the Krethax are faster in short bursts, humans can maintain combat effectiveness for hours." Counselor Talara of the Silicon Confederacy processed this information through her quantum consciousness. "But surely physical endurance cannot overcome such numerical superiority and natural weaponry." "Watch," Zixthor said quietly. The battle erupted in chaos, but it was organized chaos. The humans moved as a single organism, covering each other's positions with practiced precision. When a Krethax warrior lunged at Chen, she didn't just dodge, she redirected its momentum, using the creature's own mass against it, sending it crashing into 2 of its comrades. "Humans are one of the few species that engages in recreational violence," Zixthor explained, his voice hollow. "They call it martial arts or combat sports. They literally practice fighting each other for entertainment. Their entire history is an unbroken chain of warfare, innovation, and adaptation." The hologram showed a human soldier taking a claw strike that would have killed most species. The armor cracked, the human staggered, green blood seeping from the wound. By all rights, he should have fallen. Instead, he roared, in primal sound that made several council members flinch, and drove his plasma blade through the Krethax's thorax. "Their biology," Zixthor continued, "contains a chemical called adrenaline. When threatened, their bodies flood with this compound, temporarily suppressing pain, increasing strength, and sharpening reflexes. They can literally ignore mortal wounds long enough to neutralize threats." The battle raged for 17 minutes. When it ended, all 12 humans were standing. 263 Krathaks were not. The survivors had fled, the first time in recorded history that Krathak's warriors had retreated. The chamber sat in stunned silence. "There is more," Zixthor said grimly. He pulled up another file. "Humans possess something they call spite. It is a concept difficult to translate, but essentially, they will often refuse to surrender or retreat simply because someone expects them to. They have a saying, 'The only easy day was yesterday.' Another one, 'Pain is temporary, glory is forever.'" He displayed psychological profiles. They tell their children stories about humans who fought impossible odds. 300 warriors holding off armies. Last stands that became legends. Individuals who chose death over surrender. These stories don't serve as cautionary tales about the futility of resistance. They serve as inspiration. Counselor Veshna's skin had turned a pale shade of blue. "Ambassador, what exactly are you suggesting?" Zixthor met the eyes of each council member in turn. "I am suggesting that we have allowed a species into the galactic community that views warfare not as a necessary evil, but as a test of character. A species that evolved in constant conflict with its own planet, its own ecosystem, and itself. A species that doesn't just survive adversity, it thrives on it." He closed the files. "The Krathak swarm is now requesting immediate peace negotiations with humanity. The Dravian Empire has withdrawn its territorial disputes. 3 other species have begun diplomatic overtures, not from respect or curiosity, but from fear." The ambassador took a deep breath. "Esteemed colleagues, I believe we have made a grave miscalculation. We invited humans to join us because we saw their potential, but we failed to understand what that potential truly meant. We come from worlds that made us strong. Humans come from a world that made them relentless." He looked back at the frozen image of Sergeant Chen, still smiling despite the carnage around her. "They don't fight to survive. They fight to win, and I fear that distinction may be the most important one in the galaxy." The council chamber remained silent long after Zixthor finished speaking, each member contemplating the same uncomfortable truth. Humanity had not joined the galactic community as equals seeking guidance. They had joined as apex predators, merely looking for new challenges.